Good evening, Booze. Happy Tuesday. Yay. Are you guys ready to go to Tennessee? How about Ireland? Because I'm ready, at least for Ireland. I don't know if it's any warmer, I don't think it's any warmer in Ireland right now. I should have probably looked up the weather of both places before I decided to do a family field trip. But mm, it's got to be better than here. Anything's got to be better than the frozen tundra of Michigan right now, except it did get up to 28 degrees today, which, oh, it's almost swimsuit weather. I'm kidding. And I'm sorry I snorted. That was really unladylike and not very professional either. But yes, so as promised, I'm bringing the Bell Witch, who resides in Tennessee, and then we're gonna talk about some Banshees, and then we're gonna talk about this, death Uber, which I had some fun looking into, and I hope I can say the damn thing right when it comes to that, because I practiced it, but you guys know how that goes. I'll practice see? I can't even speak English most of the time. So, let's see if I can actually get some, Gaelic out tonight. I can say banshee. That's that's about it. Alright. So, guess what today is? It's February 3rd. So, it's National Missing Persons Day. Why does that look so fuzzy? I have my glasses on and everything tonight. So, yep, National Missing Persons Day. I recognize a lot of these faces on here, and it's really sad that they're still on there and that they're still missing. But let's send up some good juju, some prayers, whatever good energy we wanna put out into the world and hope that we start finding out where they went to, especially these 3 little boys. Uh, they're out of Michigan, and I think we know probably what ended up happening, but just so that their mother gets some resolution too, and I always forget, I think it's the Skelton boys. I always forget their last name for whatever reason. Yeah, this wait, let me make sure before I say it. Yeah, the Skelton brothers, Andrew, Alexander, and Tanner, and they've been missing since Thanksgiving 2010. So, but yeah, there's a lot of little faces on here and a lot of adult faces on here as well. So let's like I said, let's send up some good juju for them. And then gosh, I'm gonna start the stream out all well, hey, we talk about death and stuff here, but and it's also the day the music died today, guys. So on this day, 1959, Buddy Holly, Richie Valens, and JP, the Big Bopper Richardson died in a small plane crash just outside of Clear Lake, Iowa. And I don't know if you guys know the song "The Day the Music Died," but it's probably about one of the longest songs ever, and it's the first song I learned how to play on the guitar. Just because it repeats so often and it's so long, it's a really good one to learn all the chords to. Alright, so let's put down the sad stuff. I'm gonna do that because ooh, yeah. And there's me, there's Ireland. I don't have a photo of me in Tennessee, so you're just gonna look at me on a horse right now in Ireland. This is a little while ago, and that's an Irish horse that I'm riding, and this is in Killarney, one of my favorite actually, it's my favorite place in Ireland to go. If you guys haven't been, go rob a bank, go. Actually, you don't even need to rob a bank. It's just beautiful. It's not that expensive, not like everybody else thinks. You just need a passport, and yeah, that's all you need, and a little bit of money. I mean, you gotta have a little something, but the Irish are really nice over there. They like American tourists. They're not like other countries. Uh, they're still one of the few countries that do like us. So I'm gonna jump in the chat and say hi to everybody. I'm gonna move my big old head over my horse there. All right, guys. That's way too big. I don't like being that big up on the screen, but okay, it is what it is tonight. And hello, Darlene. And look, oh, hey, hi, Tombstones. And yes, we are gonna be traveling to Tennessee and Ireland tonight. I know it's a weird combination, but I wanted to do the Banshees anyway, and then we talked a little bit. I mean, we did our ghost game on Sunday night, and one of the ghosts was the Bell Witch. So I guess she's a witch ghost, or I don't know how to classify her. I guess she is a ghost because she's not alive. So, yeah. So we're just gonna call her a witch ghost, and I gotta shut my phone off, else you guys are gonna hear it going off. Hello, Clips. Clips is grabbing her passport and her weekender. See, I'm already packed almost for New Orleans, so I'm just gonna take what I got. So I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna need a swimsuit. I have some other photos I can pop up on the screen too of Ireland. There's one of a bunch of really white Irishmen jumping um, into the Irish Sea. Yeah, I'll pop that one up here in a minute. I might have to get the hose out after you guys, but I know you guys like the hose, so if it doesn't. And I'm gonna scroll down here. Oh, thank you, darling. I love you guys. Yeah, it is. Yeah, I'm feeling good. I slept last night after plowing the driveway and doing chores. I sat down on my bed in my sweatpants and my hoodie, and I pulled, like, just one of the little blankie like, one of my little throw blankets over me, and I fell asleep. Like, I was out till, like, 6:30 in the morning, 6:30. I can't remember exactly when I woke up, but, like, I don't ever sleep that long, ever. So, I must have really needed it. I don't feel sick. I woke up feeling great, and I don't know what to do when I have that much energy from sleeping. So, today was a really Man, I got stuff done. I got stuff done for the channel today. So proud of myself. Hello, Equal. Equal says, I don't see any of my husbands in the poster. That's good. Have they found them all? Then there's none of them are missing. I don't have any of my exes in there either. I have good cover stories for all of them. And hello, Gizmo. Welcome. How is this not popular yet? Which part? The missing persons? Think it's a little too popular. But hello and welcome, Gizmo. And Darlene says, "No box wine. We all go out bottles, baby." Oh, I forgot to. Yeah, I popped Stevie up here, and then the Weekender is That's Stevie knows what that is. It's the Weekender is like a box of wine, but the good box wine, not the not the gross stuff. But hey, I'm all for saving the planet, so the more boxes I'm fine with that, the less bottles, except for unless I wanna make one of those bottle trees. Have you guys seen those? Like, they make them out of your wine bottles? Yeah, I got a lot of bottles around here, especially after when the pandemic hit. Holy crap, I could have made, like, a forest of wine bottle trees. It got real scary. Uh, Clip says, "Haha, it's big enough to throw a couple changes of clothes in so you don't have to take a carry-on or suitcase. I travel light." I used to travel light. I can't so much anymore. I don't know what it is. I think I need everything when I go. Like, I'm like, "Okay, I gotta have a sweatshirt. I gotta have a sweater because it might get chilly." I'm turning into my grandma because that's what she would do too. She's like, "Oh, I gotta have a book to read, and I have to dress shoes, and what if I wanna wear a pair of boots?" Like, that's me now. I've turned into my grandma. It's official, but I'm fine with that. I think so. And Darlene says she remembers the song too. Yeah, I love, yeah, I would sing it to you guys, but my voice sucks, really does. I mean, my speaking voice is pretty annoying, I think, sometimes too, but My yeah, my son he says he has a very finely tuned ear because he's a musician, and, I'm off key all the time, and I'm like, "Well, I'm just singing to the radio. I'm not, like, on a stage. I'm not" America's Next whatever, Idol or whatever. See, I don't even know what the shows are anymore. Uh, Stevie says, "Box wine is 6, you get a little tip." You know, those things are perfect. They make purses now that you can put the bag in from the box, and the little spigot sticks out the side of the purse, so you could just take it with you, and the purse is insulated, so it keeps the wine chilled. Don't ask me how I know, but I do know. Equal says, "Box wine is cheap, is loaded with garbage to give you headaches, but it's so good." Darlene says, "F the passport." See, tonight you guys don't need a passport. I'm gonna take ya we're gonna go travel. You definitely need a passport for Tennessee, so I'm told. I've only Yeah, no, wait, no. I've been to Tennessee several times. I don't have any where's all my Tennessee photos? Anyway, you guys are just lucky I found the Ireland ones. That's about as far as I got today. So, hello, Rubicon. She says, "Hello, chat." That stream was so fun. I had so much fun with our game on Sunday night. I want to make it a thing. And of course, Clips really liked it because she won. She got she got 7 right. Like, or well, she got a bunch of them right, but she got it first right, right? First? Yeah, right first. That's what I wanted to say. Oh, goodness, yeah. See, this is what happens when Tombstones gets too much sleep. She's on fire. I'm on fire. I might need to hose myself down here in a little bit. Equal says, "I only promote wine snobbery when it's health related." The only wine that gives me headache is that, what's that? Arbor Mist, I think it is, that, like, peach flavored, all the different, like, concoctions. It's the only stuff. Like, I used to love to drink it, but now I just look at the bottle and, like, I start getting that, like, pressure headache, like, right up above my eyes, and I'm like, "Nope, nope, can't have that." Um, as long as you're a mortal body drinking spirits, it's a health matter. Yeah, I do not overdo it, and I say that, and in, like, a week and a half, I'm gonna be in New Orleans, so yeah, I say that now that I don't drink that much, but Pat O'Brien's is open for business, so this girl will be I'm gonna have at least 1 hurricane there a night, at least. It just wants you have to, right? But beignets, I will be eating those every day. That is the goal. That is the plan. I figure with all the walking I'm gonna be doing in cemeteries, the bestie and I'm gonna burn all the calories off from those. So if it's a time to this is gonna be the time to indulge in those. So, and Clip says, "That's the best, like the first time your newborn sleeps through the night." That was the most beautiful night ever in my entire life. I was so sleep deprived with my kid, 3 months of it, and I didn't even know my name. Like, I was having the weirdest dreams. I was sleep eating. I'd wake up in the morning, like, I'd have food out, like, just leave it out and not even realize. I'd be like, "Somebody's breaking into my house." They weren't. It was just me. I was so sleep deprived. I'd go up, eat, and then just yeah, it was crazy. And now he's a teenager, and now I don't sleep for other reasons because I worry about him all the time. Equal says, "Oh, no, all my husbands were missing while I was m oh, only while you were married to them." Okay. It's okay. That's funny as and Darlene says, "Hello, welcome to Gizmo." Hello, Gilded Say, and welcome. How are you doing? I'm doing great. I got plenty of sleep last night, so I am ready to take you guys on a couple little trips tonight. And oh my goodness, Darlene, how did you manage that? Is this the one you like or the one you don't like? Because man, if it was 18 months of no sleep for me, I would have lost my ever loving mind. All right, I'm gonna scroll down here. We're gonna get I forgot. Did I say welcome to Saint? Yes. Hi, Saint, and welcome. I try to make sure everybody new that pops in, I get to say, "Welcome to the chat to you guys." Um, and Darlene says, "My kids never slept through the night for ages." Took mine just about 3 months, and after that, he's a night owl like me, so it was so nice because he'd stay up kinda late with me, and then we'd wake up later in the mornings, so he never yeah, it was so nice. I lucked out, but those first 3 months were hell on wheels, I tell you what. Oof. Ugh. Soul fights is the headache, doesn't take over drinking for the reaction. A lot of women I am learning grow completely intolerant of alcohol after menopause. Oh god, I hope not. Um, please say that's not I enjoy a glass of wine. Like, just a or 2, like, you get the little warm flush feeling, I like that, and then I can just go and go to bed. But, yeah, I can't overdo it, though, because I will oh my gosh, Darlene 18, I keep seeing that, but, um, yeah, I enjoy my glass of wine, I don't mind having, like, a beer here and there, but, yeah. Oh, Darlene yeah, my little guy, he had colic the first 3 months until I apparently it was my milk. And then we just switched over to formula, and he was fine after that, so it makes you feel good knowing your milk is, upsetting your kid's stomach, but, you live and you learn. Hello, Dawn Marie, and welcome, I haven't seen you for a while. We're just in time because 'cause we're going on a trip, so, let's see, and Clip says, "Toom, you have 2 lives running at the same time. This chat is split up, I think." Oh, is it, I do. I have one going vertical because it said to try it, so I'm gonna try it tonight, and we'll see. Am I missing some of you guys in one chat? Hopefully, I see you both. If one is in one chat because YouTube has this new thing, so we have a vertical and the horizontal, and I thought I would try it tonight and see how it worked because apparently YouTube is really pushing the vertical stream. So, we'll see how it works. Hopefully I can keep up with both because it looks like well, it says I have the same number of, um, chatters. I have the same amount of people in each chat. So, I hopefully hopefully that's not gonna screw up anything, but alright, here we go. Let's go. We're gonna go to Tennessee first, so everybody get their boots on. If you've got some bourbon, is that where yeah, that's where yeah, they make bourbon in Tennessee, right? I'm trying to think of all the stuff you we're gonna be really close to Nashville, so we can put on some twangy music. I like country, if you guys like country. Alright, I got the chat up on the screen. I'm gonna go sideways here. There's me again. Oh, actually well, I'll put the Skinny Dippers here. I'll put them on when we go to Ireland again, but here we are. There we are. There's Nashville. Yee-haw. There we go. Let me get comfortable here. I'm gonna pull up my notes for the Bell Witch. And let's see. Oh, let's see. And Clip says the virtual chat has some and the horizontal has others. You can see both, but we can see the chatters and the one we're in, I think. Yeah, that might be, yeah, you guys might not be able to see both because I think you can click either which one you want. So, um, I hope it works out. Let's try it for tonight because apparently YouTube's pushing the up and down one. Apparently it's supposed to look better on like phones and such. So, paws crossed. I'm re wow, you can really see because I can see both of them on my screen, and I just see the horse head over here or my head. Oh my god, my head looks really big over there. Alright, enough with that. Here we go. I'm the boss. Only here. This is and even here, I don't feel like I'm completely the boss because 'cause I'm listening to you guys. I'm listening to what you guys want, and what you want, I'm gonna bring to you. So, and with that note, you guys wanted the Bell Witch tonight, So she's here, she's coming, and I kinda like her. She's a sarcastic little she's sarcastic, she kinda sassy. Um, if I'm a ghost witch, which I intend to be someday, I think this is gonna be me, y'all. I think it's gonna be me. She's pretty crazy, I like her. Evil Kitty is oh, she got in trouble again. So she's mad at me, but she came up here while I was trying to do stuff, and then I picked her up and put her down. She got really yeah, she got really pissed with me. Alright, so here we go. Can I say pissed on YouTube? I think I can. I think that's better than some of the other words I can actually say in here. So, alright, here we go, guys. So, now the Bell Witch, she's Tennessee's most infamous haunting, and considering Tennessee is a I mean, it's a pretty good sized state. So, saying that she's the most infamous is that's a pretty big deal. So, let's go back in time. Imagine a small Tennessee farm. It's gonna be the early 1800s. So, this is frontier time. This is the frontier. These are pioneers. Nashville is not Nashville. There's no Luke Bryant, there's no Garth Brooks, there's none of this stuff going on yet, right? There's just pine trees and bears, right? There's just all kinds of things. They probably even got mountain lions at this point. And we've got a family, and they're the Bell family, and it's Bell, like ring my bell. And this is Adams, Tennessee. And this is just a little northwest of Nashville, almost right there on the border, as you can see, of Kentucky and Tennessee. And there's Adams. They're pretty proud of their witch heritage, much like Salem. They've got their little witch on a broomstick. So the timeline for this is between 1817 to 1821 is when our little frisky ghost witch was the most active. And in 1804, John Bell and his family, they moved from North Carolina and they moved to Tennessee. They had done very well in North Carolina. Like they did really well. They were pretty prosperous. So, when they came to Tennessee, they started a farmer with about 1,000 acres. That's pretty good size. And it was located right on the Red River in Robertson County, Tennessee. And this is 1804. And the family consisted at that time of it was John Bell, he was the father, his wife Lucy, and then they had their children. There was Jesse, John Jr., Drury, and that's a really hard one for me to say, but it's Drew with an RY, Drury. Not sure where that comes from. And then there was Benjamin, Esther, Zadok, Elizabeth, who went by Betsy, and Richard Williams, and Joel Egbert. So that's their Richard Williams, that's first and middle name, same with Joel Egbert, first and middle name. And of their children, Benjamin, he died as a young child, and Zadok, he would later, become a pretty prominent lawyer in Mississippi, but he also died relatively young. And Esther, she would marry a gentleman by the name of Bennett Porter in about 1817, and Jesse married, a Martha Gunn, who was the daughter of a local reverend by the name of Thomas Gunn, and then he later moved to Mississippi. Now, John Bell Jr. married another daughter of the same Reverend Thomas Gunn, and her name was Elizabeth. And they actually stayed with his wife in Robertson County and was a pretty successful farmer. Drury never married, but he did own a farm on the north side of the Red River, so very near to where he grew up. and Elizabeth Betsy Bell, which we're gonna hear mostly about her. She eventually married her former teacher, and his name, where did my notes jump to here? Boop, boop, boop. She married her former teacher. His name was Richard Powell, and eventually they moved to Mississippi as well. Now, Richard Williams Bell, he married 3 times, and one was Sally Gunn and Susan Gunn, and these were both daughters of the Reverend Thomas Gunn. So as you can tell, they all sorta there probably weren't a lot of eligible women. Right. They there weren't a lot of families probably in the area, so they brothers were marrying, sisters in neighboring families. That's just kinda how it worked out. So he married 2 sisters in the same family, and then he married a cousin also, in the Gunn family, and I'm not sure what happened to her. Hopefully she hopefully she survived. And then another actually, no, she didn't because he also married an Eliza Orndorff. And he lived his life out in Robertson County here near Adams. And the youngest son, Joel Egbert, he married twice and he moved to Springfield, Missouri. So, I scratch my eye. Sorry, guys. Life was pretty tough back then. They worked hard. Now, this was, like I said, this is frontier. This is the frontier. They're pioneers. I don't know what that was. Excuse the big thumping of my kid running down the hallway. So they were pretty isolated out here. Like I said, there's only so many families. So right, you have the brothers marrying sisters, and also the sisters are going to be marry brothers. It's just this whole big thing. Everybody ends up being related to each other eventually. And they didn't have Wi-Fi. They didn't have, pubs or bars or anything like that to go socialize in at this point yet. And the Bells really weren't expecting that moving to Tennessee was also going to get them a new ghostly roommate. And she came to call herself Kate, and then she later became known as the Bell Witch. For obvious reasons, because she was their witch. Now, in early accounts, the spirit itself, she provided her own origin story, like right from the get go. And what she said, and this is a quote from an article, which will be listed in the show notes. And she said, this is supposed to be a direct quote from the spirit. I am a spirit. I once was very happy, but I have been disturbed and made unhappy. I am the spirit of a person who was buried in the woods nearby, and the grave was disturbed. My bones disinterred and scattered, and one of my teeth was lost under this house. I am looking for that tooth. Now, of course, this can't be verified. However, there were years later, a number of Indian burial mounds that could be found not very far from the Bell homestead and all around the region. So it's not crazy, outlandish to think that maybe this is a Native American spirit that was haunting the Bell family. And so the haunting begins in about 1812. Let me get something to drink here. Keep wetting my whistle. All right. So the haunting begins. John Bell is the first one, so the father of the family. He's the first one to witness the apparition of a strange creature, and it resembles a dog. I'm gonna pop up. So here's the Bell Witch. They actually have a roadside sign, and this is not the original Bell cabin, but this is they say it's a pretty good replica of it. The original one was torn down in 1840, so this is one that you can actually go and see and visit, and this is supposed to be another it's a drawing. I don't know how closely these are supposed to be to the real one. It's about all we have, so, uh, I did popped up what they think it looked like now and then what they said it looked like back then, so here we go. And this is I love this image. This came I'll also put this in the show notes. This is from a book that was written about I think it was about 50 to 60 years after the events of the Bell Witch, and it's a really interesting book. I think I'm actually gonna pick it up and go through it because it's pretty crazy. I love how they used to write back then. The way they put things was very original and very flashy sometimes as well. So, the dog that John Bell so he witnessed this apparition, and this dog had 2 heads, and it wasn't a typical looking dog, like, it looked freakish. And the daughter, Betsy now, she observed so this is Betsy in the woods, these are her siblings with her, and she said there was a girl in a green dress, and she was swinging from the limb of an oak tree. So, this ghost was I guess she was an acrobat too, in maybe in a past life, but so there she is, she's up there in the trees. And Betsy is the one that it seems like John Senior, Papa John, and Betsy were the 2 that the spirit really seemed to focus in on. Now, Drew or Drury, I'm gonna call him Drew for the rest of this because it's a little easier for me to say. But was, Drew Bell was approached by an unknown type of bird, and it perched on a fence and then it flew off and was of an extraordinary size. And when I think of, like, huge birds, I kind of think about Native American folklore, like the thunderbird. If anybody is familiar with those, they're supposed to be they make the thunder and they make rain, and when they take off, they're supposed to be very huge. So, like, that was the first thing that kinda popped into my head when I thought about them, what he maybe he could have seen something like that, but mostly what they experience the children experienced scratches and bruises. I think we can definitely call this some poltergeist activity. They had knocks on the cabin walls, they had objects flying around, the kids had their hair pulled, they had pinching and slapping, and this was mostly Betsy was like I said, she was getting the brunt of this. Uh, and they had this voice that was very clear, and she was pretty sassy, like I said, and very sarcastic. She came through apparently clear as a bell. It wasn't like a little whisper, but she talked like I'm talking to you guys right now, like clear as a bell, no pun intended. And she was very mocking. She was sarcastic and argumentative, and she liked to gossip as well, which I like her. And she also she liked to sing church hymns and recite Bible verses. So, I don't it's a different kind of witch because most of them, right, like, they're not supposed to be too religious, but apparently this one, she knew her hymns, and she knew her Bible verses very well, and the gossipy part, she they seem to think that she could leave their home, the Bell homestead, and she could travel to other households, and she would bring back gossip. and tell them, the Bell family, about what was going on in other households, which is I kinda like that. I would I'll pretend like I don't like gossip, but I really do, and I think a lot of I don't know. You guys tell me if I'm being crazy or not, but yeah, and, clips just popped in here, and I'm like, "The proper Southern girl," you know? I could just see her coming back and be like, "Mm, let's talk some" right? Like, "Get the tea out, let's, wanna tell you what they're doing over there, like, what the Gunn family's up to," and I like her. I just like this well, I don't wanna have my hair pulled and be pinched and slapped, but as long as it's just one of the family and it's not me, I'm okay with that. So so she wasn't polite, and she wasn't like, she really was. She seems to have, poltergeist, so she was part poltergeist, part wandering, gossiping ghost. Um, she had a lot of talents, and the folklore part of this is that, uh, Kate, the ghost, she claimed a lot of personal grudges, and she linked herself to a former neighbor of the Bells whose name was Kate Batts, and that name took off. That became she became known, the witch became known as Kate Batts because that's what the spirit said she was. Because we should trust the spirit. Probably not. So, this is, I thought this was supposed to be a depiction of the Bell Witch, of Kate the Witch. This is actually Betsy. So, this must be before she got all of her hair pulled out, but this is supposed to be the daughter Betsy, the one that got all was the one that was picked on all the time. Now, this is supposed to be the neighbor Kate Batts. She had some property disputes with John Bell Sr., which is why they think maybe when she passed away, she became the witch. I don't know. Seems to be I don't quite believe a spirit, like, it's kinda like using a Ouija board, right? Like, maybe what it's telling you isn't probably right. Like, maybe they could be lying to you, so always take what they say with a grain of salt or a lot of salt, a lot of grains. And most of the so with the folklore stories, most of these stories describe the witch as she's speaking to visitors. She predicts events, so she's also clairvoyant, and she even interacts with some politicians, which I'll tell you about in a few minutes. But the historical notes from this time period is local newspapers and local people from the community, and also John Bell's own personal journal documented all these strange happenings. So the newspapers, these eyewitnesses, and John Bell himself, they documented the strange sounds, the objects moving, the voice phenomenon. This was all documented at this time. And some of the claims, yeah, they may have been exaggerated, but this is a lot. There's a multiple independent sources that confirm all this crazy activity that was going on. So you could think, okay, maybe a few newspapers might have exaggerated, but all of them, all of the eyewitnesses, John Bell too, and his family. So it's a little crazy. Like, I'm kinda leaning towards, like, something was going on with this family and everybody who visited them, obviously, something was happening to them as well. Gotta get my straw here so I can alright, let me pop up here. Since I've been yammering here for a minute, I'm gonna go see what you guys, what you guys have to say. And Clip says, "When I was a nanny, the baby's monitor picked up the neighbor's baby monitor, and we used to hear all sorts of malarkey." Oh, I love malarkey. Did you get to hear any good gossip? I don't I never had a baby monitor because I was afraid of stuff like that. Like, I did not wanna hear anything coming over. Because if I woulda woke up in the middle of the night hearing somebody in my kid's room, like, talking through I probably woulda lost my mind. "I'm sorry, Darlene, am I in your head?" Oh, hello, TF, welcome. I haven't gone to Ireland yet, so you're just in time. We're still in Tennessee, so haven't quite gone there yet. Alright, so, continue on. One of the let me get his photo up here. Boop, boop. And I had no clue what this photo was supposed to be depicting, but this is The Witch and William Porter, and William Porter happens to be my family, though I don't think it's the same Porters. But I have a lot of these William Porters in my family, so I'm kinda wondering, could be some sort of relation, but anyway, this is The Witch and Mr. William Porter. William was a family friend of the Bells. And he claimed that one night while he was staying at the Bells, that the witch climbed into bed with him. So, not only is she sarcastic, but I guess she was a little pervert too. And this allowed William to, like, seize the spirit. He wrapped her up in the bedclothes, which bedclothes are the sheets and the blankets, and he attempted to throw her into the fireplace. But she weighed so much, the spirit weighed so much, and she smelled so bad that he had to let her go because she stank. She's stanky girl. He had to let her go, so he wasn't able to get rid of her, but something tells me even if he had thrown her in there, probably the worst thing that was gonna happen was he's gonna start the damn cabin on fire, probably not get rid of the spirit. But I find that he he actually he had something in those blankets. I don't know what. Last I knew you couldn't wrap up a spirit, but hey. So that was William Porter's. That was a documented, yes, account. The next one was The Witch and the Bell Family Slaves. And the witch had a very strong dislike for the family slaves as well as John Sr. and the daughter Betsy. She tormented them relentlessly. She would throw things at them, she would hit them, and she refused to let them come inside her house. So if they tried to enter the house, she would throw stuff at them. And so I guess she was a little racist as well on top of everything else, but so there was a slave named Dean that he encountered the witch on several occasions, and most frequently, he said she appeared to him in the form of a large black dog or wolf, and sometimes it would have 2 heads, which is what John Bell had originally seen as well. Sometimes the dog wouldn't even have a head, which is really freaky. And Dean also claimed to be turned into a mule once by the witch. And even being turned into a mule, he also said that he was attacked several times by her while he was in this mule state. So wherever Dean went, he decided he was going to start carrying with him his axe and a witch ball. And a witch ball was something that his wife had made him, which acted like as a protection from the witch's influence. So it must have had some like, you know, herbs and all the good stuff in there. maybe some crystals, whatever it was in there, it was supposed to keep him safe from the witch. Sounds like he had a pretty rough time with her. And at times, the spirit actually did. She displayed some kindness. She really did like one of the kids, and that was Lucy, one of the daughters. And she actually, or I'm sorry, not the daughter, Lucy, who was John Bell's wife, not the daughter, said that Lucy was the most perfect woman to walk the earth. I thought it was so touching. So I'm kind of wondering if maybe Lucy was had something to do with the spirit. But anyway, so the spirit thought Lucy was beyond perfection, and the witch would bring and give Lucy fresh fruit. She would sing her hymns, and she even showed young John Jr. a lot of much more respect than she did any of the other children. So she liked Lucy, the mother, the wife. She liked her, and she seemed to like John Jr., the younger John Jr. And old Jack, as she called the senior John, she did not like him. And she was hell bent on killing him. And she said this on multiple occasions. She claimed that she intended to kill him, and she was going to she cursed him, she threatened him, she was cursing him with all these afflictions. He would become sick. He one time part of his face became paralyzed where he could barely speak. So she was whatever it was why she didn't like him. She was going she was going nonstop. She wanted him dead. And in 1820, that finally happened. So John Sr., he becomes very ill, and allegedly he was poisoned by the witch and he died. Now, at the funeral and at the funeral she's mocking John. She's very happy that John is dead. Like she has served her purpose, she believes. She's very excited. She's rejoicing. She's telling everybody at the funeral what she accomplished. She says, "I poisoned him. I did it. It's all me." And yeah, she's very proud of herself. And then when they go to bury him and they're at his gravesite, she is singing a little ditty, and I won't sing it, but she apparently was singing it very loud and proudly. So all these people are stating their mourning John's passing, but the witch is yeah, she's having a good old time. So, she was throwing, quite literally, she was throwing a party for his death, and I know we have fun at wakes, but this probably took it just a little too far. Alright. Before I start talking about the folklore, I'm gonna pop in here because seen that you guys had some comments. I wanna pop them up here. Clip says, "Yes, they were a saucy bunch and talked about all the neighbors. We finally told them we could hear them, and the wife was mortified." Woo, good thing they didn't have, the Bell Witch, right? She would have gone all over the county and made sure everybody knew about their dirty little gossip, right? I think that's I still think that's hilarious. TF says, "Headless dogs do save money on feed, though, but they still have the other end. So I'm wondering if you still have to pick up stuff. I don't know how that works." But Clip says, "She sounds ornery like a hobgoblin." She's very ornery, but I like her. I do kinda like her a little bit. Whatever was going on, maybe she knew something about John that we didn't she loved his wife. Maybe John was up to I'm not gonna okay. John's not here to defend himself, so I won't say anything else about him. and Saucy. And hello, Mia B. It's okay that you're late. We're just we're hanging out in Tennessee for a few minutes here. And but you're here and that's all that matters, Mia. Yes. All right. I'm gonna go down. And he was yeah. So yes, she turned Dean into an ass. I found that quite funny. I was trying to figure out like when he got turned back from a mule, but it didn't really say. So I really want to get the book and dig into it and see exactly yeah, what happened. But this is the slave Dean with the two-headed dog. And I'm assuming that little round thing in his hand is the witch's ball, and then there he is with his handy axe. And this is the death of John Bell. And you can see his poor wife Lucy's. She's very upset, very sad. I'm not sure what the hell they're doing to that cat. I hope they're not feeding it poison or some I'm not gonna ask. I don't wanna know. I don't wanna know what they're doing to this poor cat. But, or maybe they think it's I don't know what it is. They didn't say what they were doing here. But here's John Bell's grave. It says the original tombstone disappeared sometime in 1951, so this is a replacement one. And he lived between 1750 to 1820. So he lived a pretty good long for back then, being a pioneer and on the frontier, he lived a pretty dang good long life. So he could have just died of old age, but the witch was taking full responsibility for it. This is Elizabeth, this is Betsy, so the daughter who got got all the punishment from the witch. This is her headstone. I just threw it in here. It's a very pretty photo. So, but she, was born in Tennessee, and then she passed away in Mississippi because that's where her and her husband moved to. And then I will leave it right there. Let me pull my notes up. So, the folklore with the part so the folklore, the witch claiming direct responsibility, uh, was publicized in a lot of stories as of what as a revenge spirit, and it did sort of that was just got what passed around over and over. But the historical side of it was John he did die under mysterious circumstances, but no one can really prove any supernatural involvement. So contemporary accounts at the time report that he had some sort of illness and then he died. But the witch poisoned him story is just probably because of the folklore, since they wanted to attribute it to the witch. So, whatever killed him, maybe it was natural, maybe it could have been any sort of illness back then, but whatever it was, it's all been blamed on the witch for, I mean, 1820 for over 200 years now. She's been blamed for it. And one really cool story is that the Bells had a very famous visitor, and he would later become a president. So apparently Andrew Jackson found the story of the Bell Witch very interesting. Like it had even reached Andrew Jackson's ears. And while he he had been visiting Tennessee. He left to journey to Adams to the home Bell's homestead. And when the wagon had been stopped and his men were frightened off because and Jackson at the time supposedly joked about fighting the British had been easier because his men were afraid and because of the issues with the wagon breaking down. Now, Jackson owned property on the Red River, and he thought, well, while I'm going up to see check on my property, I'm going to visit the Bell family homestead on my way. So what this wagon that he one of the wagons that he had on his trip became stuck, but it wasn't stuck in anything. There wasn't anything to be seen that it was there was no mud, there was nothing. It just wouldn't move. And they whipped the horses, which I do not agree with, but they did so. They examined the wheels, the axle, everything on this wagon, but they couldn't get it to move. The men were pushing it, the horses were being whipped, nothing's getting this wagon to move. And apparently, while they're doing this, trying to get this wagon to move, they hear, "All right, General, let the wagon move on. I'll see you again tonight," in a very clear female voice. And as soon as those words rang out, the wagon started off on its own again. And Jackson and his men were allowed to continue on their journey. And then that evening at camp, apparently they had a self-proclaimed witch lair, which I didn't know what a witch lair was, but it's a witch hunter, and he had a silver bullet, and he regaled the men with tales of hunting witches, like, he's bragging it, right? Like, he's just like, "I can take care of this witch." Like, "I know. I've got a silver bullet." If it's a ghost, I don't know how that's supposed to work out. But Jackson reportedly whispered to one of the other men present, uh, he says, "I bet this fellow is an arrant coward. For the by the eternals, I do wish the thing would come. I want to see him run." So what he's saying, he wants the witch to make an appearance so that she'll frighten the crap out of this guy. Like, he's just talking, right? Just big talking. And after this, after General Jackson says this, suddenly there was a sound of light footsteps prancing on the floor, and a voice stated, "All right, General, I am on hand and ready for business." The witch bade the witch hunter to shoot, but the gun did not fire. And the hunter was struck by an unseen force and claimed to feel the pain of being struck by needles. Ex and he exclaimed that he had been grabbed by the nose, and he fled from his tent. The witch then exclaimed, "How the devil did ru how the devil did run and beg. I'll bet he wouldn't come through here again with his old horse pistol to shoot me. I guess that's fun enough for tonight, General, and you can go to bed now. I will come tomorrow night and show you another rascal in this crowd." So Jackson was eager to stay, but his party had had enough. And Jackson, they returned right after that. They went back to Nashville. Now, the truth of this all is there's no evidence that Andrew Jackson ever actually visited the Bell family home, and especially during the years in question. Jackson's movements were pretty well documented during those years, and nowhere in history or in his writings is there any evidence of his knowledge of the Bell family. And according to some historians, so the 1824 presidential election, you should really look into that. It was horrible. It was I wrote here notoriously malicious, but it was you wanna talk about mudslinging and being downright nasty to each other. That was 1824's presidential election. Everything was out in the open. So considering that, if Jackson had actually taken this opportunity to go and check out a witch story, it would have been pulled out during this presidential campaign, and they would have more than likely made a whole lot of fun of him. So the fact that it didn't get brought up lends more, credit to the fact that it probably this was just made up. Um, so this is more folklore than history since there's nothing to back it up. And it just kind of adds a little bit of drama and prestige to the haunting, and it just yeah, there's no proof. Jackson never wrote anything about it himself, and there's no documentation stating that he was actually even there. But it is a good story, and they did a really good job of, uh, what they were, like, narrating the witch, which I thought was very clever. Alright, and yeah, Stevie, like, his natural death I mean, poison would be natural, right, depending on what type it is. I'm kinda wondering if, the mom, right, like, the witch spirit really liked her, and it makes me think if maybe mom was, I know I'm smiling a little too much for this story, but I really like it. TF says they had to get a wicked wench to get the wagons and a wicked sorry. I'm getting wheezy. Just thinking about them like, yeah, these guys are pushing this wagon. These poor horses. Oh, I tell you, the animals that have to what they have to endure because of stupid people, but yeah, it's pretty funny. Wicked. I'm gonna star that one, that was pretty funny. And Clip says, "Unless they were afraid of pissing off the ghost by telling the story." Uh, I'd be a little afraid of her. Honestly, yeah, I probably wouldn't have, I wouldn't cross her if I lived in that household, but, I mean, I believe the family, what they experienced, just it's another one of those examples, right? Like, maybe just let the story speak for itself because there is documentation that they people did see these things and poltergeist activity, all of these things, were happening to them. So maybe if we just leave it, right? Like it we wouldn't need to embellish things, but yeah, that's what they do. Gotta make it cool. So now the witch's personality and her legacy. Her personality is obviously she's very mischievous, she's argumentative, she's very opinionated. Mm, kinda trying to be I'm gonna be a witch spirit. I just know it. It's what I'm gonna do. And it focused mainly on John Bell, the father, and the daughter Betsy. And when John passed away, she claimed that she would return in 7 years, which apparently she did in 1837 or 1838. Different sources said different gave different years. I'm gonna just go with 1837 because that's 7 years after John died. He died in 1820. I can math that well. And so during this time, it said when she came back, she had long conversations with John Jr., and she even gave him prophecies of the future. Because remember, she's also clairvoyant. So she was telling them things that were going to happen in the future. And then after this, hanging out with John Jr. for a little while, she was like, "All right, I'm gonna leave again now, but I'm gonna be back in like 110 years or 100 years or something like that." And that was supposed to be about 1935. This all gets a little sketchy here with when she said she was gonna return, but she was supposed to return about 1935, which is what this article the people of Tennessee were worried because they were like, "Oh, crap. She's supposed to be coming back." So they were actually people were actually concerned about it. So it had stayed in, like, for over 100 years, it had stayed in these people's minds that the Bell Witch was going to return again. But some say she never left, but she just took up residence in one of the nearby caves, which they're named the Bell Witch Caves. And I'll pop up the photo here, and you can go see them, and you can tour them. You can go see the cabin and the cave, and there's a little road sign again. Charlene says, "Sissy is watching you on TV and listening to YouTube." Oh, hello, Sissy kitty. I wish I could get, Evil Kitten up here, but she's I don't know where she is. She's hiding somewhere. Like I said, she's mad at me. So, Kate, the Bell Witch, our ghost, she's not just a ghost. I mean, she's pretty much a full-on Southern drama queen. She's committed to her narrative. Really, I I'm gonna say this again. I like her. I think she's pretty cool. I don't support that she's picking on the enslaved people or the daughter, or not even John that much. I mean, but he's a grown man. He can protect himself. She shouldn't be picking on people that are defenseless, but she's pretty funny. She's bringing back gossip. I love it. But she can't be too bad because she knows church hymns and she's able to recite the Bible. She seems to really like Lucy, the wife, and the John Jr. So I don't think she's all bad. But the legend really does emphasize her personality, which for the time period seems a little. I don't know if they had a lot of sarcasm in the 1820s. I'm interested to know if they did or not. But yeah, so they emphasized her personality, the insults that she would hurl at her victims, and also the public interaction that she had with people that would come visit the Bells, and when she would apparently go out to find gossip to bring back home. So, the history of it all, the eyewitness accounts described the strange phenomenon, the sounds, objects moving, the voice phenomenon, uh, but details like sarcasm and mockery are probably more folklore embellishments since 1820s. They probably didn't quite have they weren't doing sarcasm like we do now. And now for the cave and the modern legacy of the Bell Witch. So this is a tourist spot in Adams, Tennessee, and this is where John Bell's cabin was. And this is the caves where visitors report strange sounds, chills, eerie feelings, and it's supposed to be haunted as well. And that is attributed to Kate, the Bell Witch. Now, above the bluff over top, pop up the photos here, they did find this is part of it. Did I go too far? Nope, I didn't. This is the cave, which is I'm not a big fan of caves. This one looks pretty darn creepy. This is pretty creepy. So, there's the inside of it. This is the entrance to it, and there's got that creepy, what do you call it, the gate right there, and then this is looking up from the gate upwards. Now on top of the bluff, so right over the top of the cave is actually an old Indian burial ground, and they think that at one point they did, uh archaeologists were there, they dated the graves as being anywhere from 3,000 to 5,000 years old, so they've been there a really long time. And now this what we're looking at right here, this is a what they call a box grave, which this is a new one for me. I did not know about this, and I wanna know more because this is seems this is very interesting. But they found this it wasn't initially in the cave, but they found this box grave with the remains of a young native girl, and she was a little bit down the river from the cave entrance. And at one point, they picked it all up and they put her inside the cave. I feel like they did this thinking that it would protect her, but unfortunately, I mean, the box grave is still intact and still there, but the the young girl's remains went missing at some point. It didn't say when they moved the grave. I'm gonna say sometime after the Bell Witch, sometime after 1820. But her remains did go missing. There are several apparently Native American burial mounds in the area, and they did say that this was the Chippewa, I believe, is the Native American tribe that is associated with the area. Now, the Bell Witch has influenced books, movies, Halloween legends, and whether you believe she's still checking in or this family's imagination just kinda went wild with them. She the Bell Witch still remains probably one of the most famous American hauntings, and mostly because she knew she knew how to make an entrance, apparently, and she has left a lasting impression. And she is I really yeah, I really like this one. It's been a while since I've looked at anything, for the Bell Witch. Now I wanna go back. I wanna go there, and I wanna go back and do a lot more research on her, but, um, so the Bell Witch, she was frontier gossip, she was divine sass, and a little bit of history that turned into a spooky legend. And whether it was Kate Batts that really cursed the bells, or if the family had this just a dramatic poltergeist problem, one thing's pretty one thing's positive. Whatever it was left a story that they're still telling 200 years later, which to me is absolutely crazy. And I think with every folklore, there's just a little bit of truth in there somewhere. So, it was pretty cool. So, I hope you guys like this one, and let me see, I think that was yep. Now we're gonna go to Ireland after I set up and get a little bit of my vitamin water in me. Oh my have you been to that cave? Oh, I wanna go. I don't like caves all that much, especially, like, this photo, whoever took this one, like, kudos to them because this just looks creepy as mm-mm. I don't wanna go. But, I would like to see that box grave, though. I did not, this is one that I didn't know about. Like, I'm fascinated by these. I'm gonna yawn a little bit. Nope, maybe not. Okay, nope, I'm not. I thought I was going to. And I know, Darlene, isn't it they picked her grave up to move her, right, to protect her, and then somebody came along and took her. I just wish people would leave. Yeah. I mean, they probably thought they were doing right by her, but then it probably just yeah. I hope she's resting wherever they took her to. I hope she's resting, but yeah. And, Darlene, my look it would collapse. I mean, that's what why caves kinda frighten me a little bit is that I went to one in Ireland and I had the bejesus scared out of me because, you get down in there and they shut the lights off on you. so you can see how dark it is. Like, I'm fine, like, I don't need to know how dark it is, it's a cave, I get it, it's dark. And then they shut the lights off, and it's blacker than black. Like, it is like, I don't think I've ever seen it so dark before, and then somebody touched me. Mm-mm. I don't do that stuff. Like, I don't wanna get touched in the dark, any of that stuff. Like, I don't want anybody touch me in the dark, and after that, I'm just like, "You know what? I don't need to go into a cave with the lights off again," so but I think I would go into this one. It looks pretty cool, especially with this. I wanna find out more about these box graves. It looks very cool, and TF says he was there in the early 2000s. I wanna go now. I wanna go and see it. I wanna go to the Bell Cabin, even though it's not the original. Apparently, there's, the bed. They have a bed with a mannequin of John Bell stretched out dead in the bed. Those things always creep me out. I'm fascinated by them, but they also creep me out too. But, especially when they're, like, talking about ghosts, because I just think that just kinda keeps things keeps things going. And hello, Anne, welcome back. We just finished up with Tennessee, and we're about to board the plane to Ireland. We're getting there. I'm gonna throw up, I should throw up the guys, these Irish guys running out into the Irish Sea. Oh, wait. Oh, no. Maybe I didn't load them. Hang on, I'll load them real quick. Boom, boom, boom. Alright, let's see that. And Darlene, have you been to Cavern? It's amazing. No, I don't think I have. I haven't been to shoot, like I said, I think the went to one in the Cave of the Winds in Colorado Springs, and I've been to the one in I can't even remember what cave it was in Ireland that I went to. Seems like it I'll have to look up and see what it was. It's been a long time. Been a long time since I went did that tour. Um, but yeah, it was pretty cool. Let's see here. All right, I'm gonna take this down. Here's a bunch of really white Irish boys jumping into the water. This was March, by the way. So this was cold. This was very cold. Yeah. So, all right, I'm gonna pop that one back up here, and then I'm gonna put a boop, boop, silly boys. Uh, and then I'll put something pretty up there. There's Ireland again. All right, here we go. Put this back up. I'll come over here so I can see you guys. There we go. All right. So now I'm gonna go on to you guys ready for Banshees? Oh my goodness. I can't believe I slept 12 hours yesterday. I'm gonna be up all night. He's so cute. All right, let me get my notes up for my Banshees. And I'm gonna sympathize with the Banshees tonight, just like I do with the Bell Witch. I think she kinda got a bad rap too. Banshees definitely get bad raps, a bad rap, yeah. So, they're not the villains that we think they are, and I feel bad for them because everyone thinks I hear so many different versions of, uh, what banshees are, and maybe I'm wrong, but it seems like every time I go to look up, I usually find what substantiates what I believe, and kinda throws out some of the other crap that I listen to. I am not making sense, sorry, guys. So, usually when people hear the word banshee, right, they're thinking of this screaming horror, like this monster, and she's shrieking in the dark, and it's Irish folklore. She's not evil. She's not hunting anyone. She's not causing death. She's just a messenger. And honestly, she's probably a pretty tired one because everybody keeps right? She just keeps getting knocked about. Uh, Everybody thinks of her, she's a scrumpy old crone. This poor lady. I love this picture. Um, right? And then if you see her, I mean, if you see her, she's coming for you. She's gonna take your soul. That's what banshees do. She's gonna scream. She's gonna come and take your soul because that's what banshees do. But what a banshee actually is, it comes from the Irish term "ben she," and I hope I'm saying I think I have that one right at least. So it's "ben she," banshee, and its meaning is woman of the fairy mound or fairy woman, and in folklore, she belongs to the other world, and she is tied to ancient burial mounds and to old families. And they're not just Irish, I have to tell you guys too. This is because I gotta plug my own people here too. They're banshees also are in Scottish folklore as well. So right off the bat, we can say she's not a demon, she's not a ghost, and some of the things she does. So she's got a pretty simple job. She warns of approaching death, and usually it's within a specific family. And for the Irish, it's a specific family. In Scotland, with the Scots, it's a clan. And what you will hear is what they call keening, and it's a wailing and a crying, lamenting. That's a pretty good word. And what she doesn't do, she doesn't kill anyone, she doesn't cause any accidents, and she doesn't really take any souls. She just kinda shows up like, "Hey," right? Like, "I hate to be the one to tell you, but" right? Like, she's just the one, like, "This is gonna happen." And she screams, cries, wails, keening. Keening is an old Irish mourning practice where women would cry, they sing, and they wail at funerals. It's a pretty intense thing. And so when a banshee screams, she's not just being dramatic, she's actually grieving in advance of someone dying. So the scream, it's sorrow and it's her duty. It's compassion. And it's probably exhausting, I would imagine. Now, what she looks like kind of depends who you talk to, whereabouts in the country, what country. So, Ireland or Scotland. It's pretty inconsistent. So, sometimes she's a young, pale woman with long silver hair. She can be an old crone with red eyes because she's always crying. Let me pop up some photos here as I go through. This one's a pretty scary one. And here's some here. I guess that's a band of banshees here. And sometimes she's a washerwoman and she's cleaning bloodstained clothing in a stream. And sometimes she's just a shadowy figure seen only in the moonlight. The one constant thing though is she always looks like someone who she's just seen too much. She's seen a lot in her existence. Let me pop up some more photos for you here. These are just some I found on Pinterest, guys. So if you want to go to Pinterest and look these up, I don't know how this one I like. This looks like Keening to me. Like she's really hurting here. Her profession is equally as unappreciated as a Walmart greeter. I know. She can't she can't help it. Poor thing, right? She's just doing her job. She's gotta be like, "Hey, sorry, would you rather not know?" Some probably yeah. Some places hire they do, Tiff. I'm gonna talk about that at some point too. It's on my list over here. You can hire lots of things for funerals. You can hire clowns, which please don't do that for mine because I do not like clowns. But yeah, you can hire mourners like for the graveside at the funeral. Like, yeah, I don't know if you can hire a banshee though. So just so you know that. And hi, Tiff. But she hasn't been carrying water to the horses every day. Oh gosh, that's only me. That's what makes my head spin all the time, just having to do that, but brr. Sun eaters, Angie, hello. I can't find my pen. I'm gonna put that on my list because that just came up some hopefully I can read this. Um, put that on my list, Sun eaters, because I just that popped up. That's a Gosh, where was that? I was reading that somewhere. I can't remember where it was now, but I like that you're in my head. So is Tiff because I was just thinking about that the funeral mourners too. So here we go. Here's another one. I like this one though. I'm gonna leave it while I talk. I'm gonna leave it. She really looks like it's her job. Though she's a little too pretty. Doesn't look like she's been crying enough. Um, So, family connections. Traditionally, banshees are tied to old Irish families or Scottish clans. And the Irish family names are the O'Neills, the O'Briens, the O'Connors, and the O'Gradys. Now, seeing or hearing one meant someone in your family was about to die. Not somebody in the village, not a stranger, somebody in your family was going to die. I don't know if this makes it less terrifying, but it's definitely personal, so it probably does make it more terrifying because it's gonna be somebody you know. And now a modern take on this because folklore likes to evolve. Oh, shoot, no. I was supposed to put this at the end. Oh, well. So the banshee, just think of her, she's giving advance notice. That's all she's here for. She's just letting everyone know she's ready, something's gonna happen, be on the lookout for get the hole dug, whatever. Um, get the coffin picked up. I'm sorry, I'm making light of it, but that's what she wants you to do. And then I'm gonna go down because I got a little ahead of myself when I put my notes in here. So the next time you hear a banshee scream in a story, don't think of her as a monster. Think of her as someone mourning early. And she just stands between 2 worlds. She stands between the other world and the living world, and she's just doing a job nobody wants to do this job, it's thankless, like the Walmart greeter, but someone has to do it, and sadly, it's her, but she does a great job at it. So, just because you see her doesn't mean she's not coming for you guys. It's not how it is. It just means someone and usually it's gonna be someone in one of those old families or um, like in Scotland, it's somebody usually it signifies in Scotland, it signifies the death of the laird of the clan. So that's a little better because it's just you just know it's just one person. It might not be like, you don't have a lot of people to worry about, you just know the laird's gonna go pretty soon. So, with that, that finishes up Banshees. See, there's not a lot to them, but just kinda do away with all the scary, hokey hokey stuff that you hear, right? Like that she's coming for you if you see her. Um, None of that is really part of the folklore. I mean, it all is just folklore. I don't think they're really real. I hope not, but maybe they are. I won't I won't tell anybody what to think. So, onward, because I have the death Uber, and I hope this one stumped you guys because it made me I had to think of how I was going to present this one, and death Uber was what popped up. I guess I could have called it a death lift, but that's something else, isn't it? So anyway, going from Banshees to the death coach, and I know I'm gonna say this wrong, so you guys just wait for me here, all right? So, here's a little story. This is the, rideshare story. This is the banshee and the death coach. So, they say if you hear wheels on the road after midnight and you don't hear horses, it's already too late. That's when the death coach comes through. A black carriage, no license plate, no return trips. Think of it as an afterlife Uber, except the driver never asks, "How's your night been?" And the rating system is eternal. Death has been doing this job a long time, too long. He's overworked, he's underpaid, and deeply, deeply unimpressed. And tonight is no different. The road is empty, fog clings low to the ground. Graveyard on one side, ruined stone walls on the other. And there, on the shoulder of the road, stands a banshee. Her hair's wild, her dress is all in tatters, her voice is already blown out from screaming her lungs out 2 villages back. So she sticks out her thumb because apparently even bad omens need a lift sometimes. And I forgot there she is. And she's holding a sign that reads, "To hell." Death slows the coach, the horses snort green mist, and Death, without turning his head, rolls his eyes. Not again. The banshee leans in and shrugs. "Look," she says. "I screamed, I wailed, I fulfilled my ancient duty, I'm done." And Death sighs. He's been working the night shift since the beginning of the time. He's just got no more words. So the coach door creaks slowly open because rules are rules and folklore is folklore. The death coach, the door opens and the banshee catches a ride. One more soul collected, and Death is pretty sure he's not going to get a 5-star rating. So I intertwined the banshee with the death coach, and I'm going to try to say this properly. I thought I had why did I really do that? All right, I'm gonna say it. I think it's Cóiste Bodhar. Cóiste Bodhar. I think I'm close, maybe not, which is directly translates to deaf coach in Irish. Pretty sure I probably said that wrong. I know banshee, that's as far as and it can either be the did coach, the deaf coach, or the black coach. Take your pick. And it's from old Irish folklore, and it's one of the spookier if you you don't wanna see it coming sorta omens. So it's a harbinger of death. Alright, I gotta pop over here. Do you guys wanna know how to spell it? I saw the chat popping up here. Let me go. Boop, boop. She does the bolo. I like it. Be on the lookout. If you hear someone's gonna die. Yep, that's what the banshee does. Wait, are we compete no competing tonight, Tiff. Just, yeah, we're just stuff tonight. Clip says, "The only laird I know is Hamilton. What's a laird?" Oh, what's a laird? Oh, I have to a laird is just the head of a Scottish clan. So, sorta like a lord, but it's, not, what like like the English have their lords, but those are how do you say it? Like, they're given those titles are given by a queen or monarch, but a laird is just the honorary title of the head of a clan, and it's usually passed down father to son, but I think women can be lairds now too, so they've opened it up a little bit, but it's just the head of the clan, that's the person who's top dog, the one everybody, like, yeah, pays homage to. Uh, and if you missed the game. Alright, I'm gonna go down here. Boom, boom, boom. Darlene oh, Darlene. No, I think hell's gonna be really bad. I think hell's gonna be really bad. I don't want to. Okay, Kosh Tabor. Is that right? Did I say it right that time? Kosh Tabor? TF? Do you wanna know how to spell it? Here, let me pop it. Boom, boom, boom. I'm copy and pasting, guys, because 'cause I'm not gonna sit here and type it out, so oh, why won't it let me? Oh, there it goes, okay. Here, I'm gonna pop it into the chat for you because I know how Tiff likes the there we go. Now pop it up there. Alright. Oh, TF already had it, so you guys are see, you guys are already a step ahead and as long as it there we go. Okay, I'll leave that up there as I'm talking. Oh my goodness. See, I think I actually do better with less sleep. So what is the death carriage? It's a phantom carriage, and it's said to appear late at night. It rattles down lonely roads. If you see it or hear it, it means someone nearby is about to die or already has. And it's basically the supernatural equivalent of, well, that's not great. What it looks like, depictions kind of vary, but usually it's a black or dark carriage. Let me pop some photos up here. There's one, and it's pulled by could be headless horses or skeletal horses, either or. The wheels either make no sound or can make an unholy sound, and the driver is usually Death himself, and sometimes he's a headless coachman, other times he's a skeletal figure wrapped in a cloak, and then sometimes he rides on a black stallion, and he carries a whip made of a human spinal column, which I think is really freaking cool. And sometimes the coach is overflowing with shadowy figures, souls that he's already claimed. Now, once the coach has come into our world, it cannot return empty. So he has to do his job. And the coachman, the rider, he is also called, hoping I'm going to say this right too, the Dullahan. I'll put that in the chat too. 'Cause I think Tiff will probably oh, oh, she'll probably ask for this next, and I'll explain a little bit about what that is. Hopefully I can. Yeah, pretty much, uh, and Angie wants to know why does she have to go to hell? I just think that's the last person that the banshee had to deal with. I think that's where that person's going. So, I asked AI to generate me a hitchhiking banshee being picked up by the death coach. That's what it gave me. So, that's what I went with. But, yeah, I'm just assuming the last person she had to wail for was probably a bad individual. So, Darlene, woo, AKA the Grim Reaper. Yes. Um, Clips, is this supposed to make death more comforting? It sounds scary as well, it's Irish. Everything is scary. There's nothing that's really, um they're actually very depressing kind of people, much like the Scots. There's not yeah, and it is a sexy whip, isn't it? I want one made of a spinal column. That's one I don't have. I've got a lot of different kinds of whips, uh, like lunge whips and stuff, like for not to beat my horses with, but never mind. I'm just gonna not. Gonna stop there. So the Dullahan, whenever he stops, a mortal dies. And I did say what let's see. Bum, bum, bum. Why did I put this stuff down here like twice? Okay. So I did say often you can't hear it coming, the death coach. Or sometimes it just becomes silent just before it appears. And traditionally, seeing it is a death omen. Hearing it stop outside a house means someone inside will die soon. Locking your doors isn't gonna stop it. Saying prayers might help, but results vary because the folklore seems to vary on that as well. Sometimes it might help, some say it doesn't. Now, if the Dullahan, if he stops and calls out your name, your soul is drawn out of you and you'll no longer be among the living. So, unlike the banshee, the Dullahan, be afraid of him. He's he's scary. He's a scary individual. So the banshee is here to warn you of imminent death in certain families, but the Dullahan, he's not here to warn you. He's definitely a harbinger of someone's demise, and there's no that's it. That's what he's here for. Some stories say that an object made of gold causes the Dullahan to be repelled, so it frightens him away. But for how long? So you may get lucky for a time, but he's probably gonna come back at some point because we all gonna die. So there's a little poem I'm gonna read you, and I'm not very good at poems, so bear with me, guys, but I thought it was kinda nice, so I'm gonna finish it up with this. So, at night, when the sick folk wakeful lie, I heard the death coach passing by, and heard it passing wild and fleet, and knew my time was come not yet. Click clack, the hooves went past. Who takes the dead coach travels fast. On and away through the wild night, the dead must rest before morning light. If one might follow on its track, the coach and horses midnight black. Within should sit a shape of doom that beckons one and all to come. God pity them tonight who wait to hear the dead coach at their gate. and who hears through sense be dim, the mournful dead coach stop for him. He shall go down with a still face and mount the steps and take his place. The door be shut, the order said. How fast the pace is with the dead. Click clack, the hour is chill. The dead coach climbs the distant hill. Now God the Father of us all, wipe thou the widow's tears that fall. And that's a poem by Catherine Tynan Hickson. And I will put a link to that, a link to that in the show notes for you guys. And there will be a spelling test after this. Woo! That was a hard one. I don't read, poems very often because 'cause I'm not a very good poem reader. So, hopefully you guys, and hello, Erica. It's okay, you can lurk. I don't mind, but hello. Yeah, that's what I had for you guys tonight. I'm working on, I hope you liked it. I hope I didn't confuse anybody anymore. Um, at least I think I'm almost positive I did say Doulahan properly, because 'cause I've heard that before, and unless the person who said it to me was not saying it right, I think I nailed that one. And I nailed Banshee too, and I got whip right. We should have a spelling t I am never gonna get, even English, I'm not gonna get in the spelling, but Gaelic or Gallic, there's no way. Their vowels and where they put it makes absolutely no sense. Like, I thought I was gonna be super smart one time and learn how to speak, not Gaelic, but Gallic. Gallic is Scottish, Gaelic is Irish. It's the same, essentially the same. They just like to be different. I I think I learned, like, 4 words, and I'm like, "I'm good. That's all I need to know." So, yeah. TF says, "This scared the bejesus out of me as a kid after seeing it in Darby O'Gill and the Little People." Oh, I should have found a video. Wonder if I could even play that without getting in trouble. I'd probably get in trouble. I'm always getting in trouble for something, but not that it matters, right? I guess I should have just looked it up. I should have looked it up. Darn it. See, hindsight's 2020. I don't know. These are not stories for kids. This is terrifying to me. This dude on I was terrified by, Ichabod Crane and the Headless Horseman, like, that stuff frightened the crap out of me as a kid. The flying monkeys and Wizard of Oz, those things frighten me. I don't wanna see a Dullahan coming down the road on that horse. Well, maybe the horse, but not the dude without his head, especially if he's, like, look at him holding that thing, but that whip is cool. I want that. Darlene says, "I will give you my spinal column." We can't do that. We cannot collect human bones, Darlene. We can't do that, but wink, wink. No, I'm just kidding. We can't do that. It's illegal. Remember? It's a easy tiger. It's okay. I'm gonna go down here. Yeah, I do have a lot of whips. They're in my basement. I told you guys about my basement, right? I'll have to take you down there. Maybe that's what, when I do finally get monetized, that'll be a members only that I'll do. I'll take you guys down into my basement of whips and my horse equipment because 'cause I've got my saddles and stuff. Oh, yeah. I know you guys are all gonna just think I've got all kinds of pervy stuff. Like junior high school teachers, "What? What? What? What did I miss?" They call your name and suddenly your soul has left you. Oh, okay, I gotcha. I got you equal. Yeah, you remember that? It would always be the one time, like, when I got called, it was when I didn't do my homework the night before. Any other time, like, when I was ready, like, sitting there, like, being, like, little smarty pants, I wouldn't get called on. And it would be that time that, yeah. Then you sit there and you're like and I'm pretty sure, like, I'm already pale. I probably went, like, see-through, like, within seconds of that oh gosh. Yeah, see, just thinking about that God, equal. My heart hurt just thinking about that. The Dullahan is gonna get you. He's coming for you. So remember, the Banshees are the good ones because 'cause they're just out there crying. They're just sad ladies, okay? They're sad ladies. They just I mean, they're like the rest of us, right? They we get our red eyeballs and everything from crying and mourning, and I would really like to hear, the keening. I wasn't there isn't that a Spanish tradition as well? Like the keening at funerals? Don't they have, like when, I wanna say, like, on a monarch dies or something, didn't they have like, there's special like, the women are specially chosen to, like, cry and, like and it's very dramatic. It's not, like, just sitting there crying. It's like yeah, I think it's the same thing as keening. Darlene, 4'10" considered a little people. Hello, I know. I am told I need a booster seat or a stack of, telephone books. Do they even have telephone books anymore? Um, Nice little death poem. Yeah, I didn't write it though, but yeah. I'm horrible at reading poems. Ugh, horrible at it. And hello again, Erica. Whip it, whip it. Oh shit! Did you guys clip me saying that? Oh no. See, this is what happens when I clip other people. Oh. Oh, I forgot to tell you guys the other night too. For those of you guys who watch OB, Oblivious Benson, right, with the shack levitating. So one of the paranormal channels that I've uh, bounced over to a few times, the Winda Bros. I went and caught their live on Saturday night, and I got them to play the shack levitating, and they liked it too. So I thought it was hilarious because they were talking magic, and I was like, "I've seen Shaq levitate." And they're like, "What? Shaq lev" I'm like, "Hell yeah, he did." And yeah, that music is sweet because once that music starts playing, I'm like, "Anything's possible. Anything's possible." Yeah, and I'm with you. As soon as somebody says spelling bee, I'm like, "No, I'm out. I'm not doing this. I can't." I like Thank God for spell check. It was a good night per usual. Thank you, Darlene. I know I could have made it more exciting, but I needed a little filler episode in here before I hit a big one. But I need to know what you guys want to hear next because I mean, I have a lot of stuff up here, but most of it's going to take me a little time to dig into. So, because I want to talk about Marie Laveau, so I'm kind of trying to figure out, I think Thursday what I'm gonna do, I think we're gonna, I have a couple grave stories. And when I say grave, I mean like actual grave stories. There's one that Rubicon sent me, about a gentleman and he passed away and his wife who predeceased him, it's about their burial situation, what's going on, and I'm gonna check up on it, see if it's been resolved, and I think it's just been a week or so. So I'm gonna check and see if it's been resolved. So I wanna talk about that one. So I think I'm just gonna do some cemetery talk on Thursday, if you guys are okay with that, because 'cause I've already got a lot of those lined up. And then Miss Ernesto sent me a cool link, a video link, and I don't know if you guys have ever seen it, but it's these 2 graves. They're in opposite cemeteries, and there's a wall. One side is Protestant, one side is Catholic, and, the couple how this occurred, I don't know, but the wife was Catholic, I believe, and the husband was Protestant or the other way around, but it shows their how their grave joins. So I was going to do that story for you guys on Thursday because it's really beautiful, and it's one of my favorite stories, and it seems to be making the rounds right now, so we might as well talk about it and discuss it. I think you guys will like it. If you've already seen it, hey, I've seen it 100 times, and I still think it's a very touching story, so, um and I'll find some other great, probably maybe do another. I think you guys liked it when we did the cool graves, like, remember Big Madam Big Guns, what's her name? Miss Destiny is dragging people around by their hair. Goals, life goals, people. That's so, maybe I'll find some more really cool headstones. I've got tons of them. I'll just have to narrow it down to, enough for just 2 hours for us, or 3 hours, see what happens on Thursday night. Sleepy Hollow, Darlene, right? Like, it's terrifying. It especially the one with, Johnny Depp not so much frightens me, but Christopher Walken's with those little shark teeth sharp shark teeth. Okay, there we go. He terrified me because he terrifies me anyway. I love him, but he's scary. But yeah. Clip says the trash heap and Fragile Rock scared me when I was you- Fraggle Rock? Like those that were they dinosaurs or something? I don't remember. Erica says I love Darby O'Gill and the little people who can't love sure. See, I'm done. I'm done already. Sir Sean Connery singing. Who who can't love Sean Connery at all? He is um, I love him. Yeah. Rest in peace. Oh my gosh. And then too, I don't know if you guys have heard, but Catherine O'Hara passed away. Was it Sunday? I think it was Sunday. RIP to Catherine. Schitt's Creek is still one of my favorite shows. Beetlejuice, Home Alone, like, she's just amazing, and I haven't heard yet, like, what happened. It sounds like it was pretty quick, but yeah, that's very disappointing. Both my kid and I were just, like, stunned. We were just because he loves Schitt's Creek too, so we were just standing here like, "Oh my god." Yeah. Maybe I can find her, see if they did an obituary for her, and then I can do that on Thursday night too. So I'll just tie in some cemetery stuff for Thursday night. That's good. Um, Tip says we call him head free horseman these days. That could mean something entirely different. Just saying, not to be a pervert. Anne says or a challenge. I really need to look at things before I post them up here. So, um, yeah, I really need to check up on you guys. The wailing. So, yeah, Rubicon, I'm gonna do your story on Tuesday that you sent me the with the couple, the burial plot. It, like, breaks my heart. The wailing. Is it, Anne says Arabs do that weird wailing too. Is it maybe it's the Arabs that I'm thinking is it can we say that? Like, I have Arabian horses, so I say Arabs. I don't know. That might not be politically correct or well, I don't know what is anything is anymore, but, um, I thought it was like the Spanish or I don't know. Maybe I'll look it up. That'd be an interesting one. When I do where's my pen? I keep putting my pen away and I should just leave it out here. I'm gonna take my note here. So, keening, Spanish, and Arab. Oh, you know what? Do you guys want a word from the sponsor? Let me throw the sponsor in here real quick. I should have done that in the beginning. Boom, boom, boom. Wow, there's a lot of white Irish dudes there. All right, here's a word from our sponsor.
Tonight's stream is sponsored by Amazon Basics Home Crematorium. Simple, reliable, and designed for closure. Because grief should be convenient. Amazon Basics. Lowering the bar for eternity.
Yeah. That one never gets old. Oh, I found another one too. I haven't played this one for you guys yet. Here you go. Here you go. I think this one works. This is Chucky Dowg. And now I think I have to include that have altered content because that is definitely AI. That is not real. But yeah. Mia says Italian. So so it's not just the Irish then. I don't think the Scottish do that. Too cool. Um, yeah. And Tiff says Chinese, Vietnamese, Brazilians. Oh my God. Why do you, Tiff, what is wrong with Shaq levitating? That is like the coolest thing ever. Like, especially Flava Flav. Like, I clipped it and I'll put it in the Discord for you guys. Maybe I don't know. I don't think they get upset if I played it on here, but I'll put their link too, so you guys can go subscribe to them and we can all hang out. Stevie went and hung out with me there on Saturday night too, so it's really cool. They do paranormal stuff, and they were talking about. Remember when we were discussing like you say a word over too many times over and over, and it starts to sound like not a word anymore? Well, apparently that's a phenomenon. So I'm gonna post the link to that stream so you guys can go check it out because I didn't know, and we've talked about it, and I know you guys have mentioned it before too, so you should go check out their stream. And it's the Window Bros. I'm pretty sure I've linked them up before, so I'll do it again so that you guys can go check it out and we can have a fun place to go hang on Saturday nights. And differently. All right. Tiff is getting on the list here to identify. Uh-oh. Ann and Tiff, you two, the Emperor's New Head. Oh my god, genetics. Okay, guys, and Clip says almost as cool. Almost as cool. Titanic pig, hands down. It's the best. Sorry, it's the best. Especially with the butthole eyes. Oh my gosh. Rex Huerman as Rose. Who would have thought that casting would have worked out so well? But it works. It really does. And Jack looking like John O'Keefe, it works too. It works. And that pig, the pig and the duck are the best parts, though, right? All right, I'm gonna go down. Doo, doo, doo. All right, white, dangerous, white and angry, white and violent. Oh my gosh, I love Stefan. Oh, he's the best. Titanic pig is real. Prove me wrong. It is. You know, I think that was the original version of Titanic, but they knew it was so good that right? Like, they had to pull it back just because it would have just not just smashed box offices, they would have never been able to make another movie ever again. So they just had to do it the way they did it, like, which is really sad because I think if they would have just left it and TF just put the link in the chat for you guys. So go check out Window Bros and check out the last live stream they did on Saturday Night Live, and they do the Shaq levitating, and it's hilarious, especially when Flava Flav pops up. I was laughing so hard, and like I keep meaning I gotta send OB that because gave her give her props for finding that. It's hilarious. So yeah, you guys go check them out. All right. Mahjong, Tiffany, Real, and Party Cry. Oh my gosh. All right. Yeah, Tiff is feisty. She's like the Bell Witch tonight, isn't she? She's just all up in here. All right. So remember what today is. So we're gonna send out good juju for the all these missing peoples. Which equal assured me that none of these are her current missing ex-husbands because they were only missing while she was married to him, but they must have surfaced afterwards, allegedly. This is her story, not mine. But yeah, let's send out some good juju that these cases get resolved. And, yeah, let's send up some good juju for Buddy Holly, the Big Bopper, and Richie Valens too. I'm gonna go play the song now and cry a little bit. Yeah, and, also for the Doulahan, watch out for him because I mean, the Banshee, she's this is horrifying. I do not ever wanna find walk up on a woman doing this in the stream. Oh, who's on the sugar? Oh, I love freaking blow pops. We do. Mia B, I am he too conservative. He should have just let his freak flag fly and just torn it up. Just let it go and done his thing. I mean, I know they got all the Oscars, but there would have never been Oscars again after that. It would just been done. They would have just forget Hollywood, close the doors. The best movie ever was made. That's it. That's it. Done. Especially that music. I wish I could play it, but he probably really get I don't yeah, I'd probably definitely get I think he gets all the views, the James Cameron gets all the views from OB, but he probably doesn't like me, so I'm in trouble. Oh my god, they keep talking about a Titanic sequel, and I'm like, "How? She's they're all dead." I don't know how you come back from that. Oh my god, I wanna blow pop. Those are, like, my favorite, especially the green apple ones. Uh, yeah. Oh, Savannah Guthrie's mom is heartbreaking. Now people are speculating, super nefarious. Savannah Guthrie's mom. Wha what? Did we get another one? Uh-oh. Who else got somebody get murdered? Another person get murdered? Well, I mean, people get murdered every day, but holy crap, somebody else? Oh, see, now I gotta look it up. Now I gotta look. I'll look it up after I get off stream, but wow. La 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 bamba. I met Buddy Holly's, his widow. True story. She lives in Dallas, and she had 2 really very fancy kitty cats, and she was, what do you call it? A client at her and she came in with her 2 very fancy cats, and, yeah, these cats weren't like my cats. Like, they only eat caviar and, oh, Grey Poupon topped caviar. I don't yeah, very fancy kitties. And she was beautiful. She was absolutely gorgeous. Like, yeah, and I don't even know how old she would have probably been, like, what, in her 60s or 70s by then. This was a while back, so, yeah, she looked freaking amazing. But, yeah, I met her. I mean, that's as close as I've been to a star, I think. Speculating 4th century and not a very mobile person gone is totally uh-oh, so something bad happened, and then, uh, Jill Biden's ex-husband, he's allegedly murdered, his current wife, like, lots of bad crap going on today. You do not look like Buddy. Titanic, The Survivors. What about Titanic, Lost Edition? Like, they're all on an island, and they don't know they're all dead. Could we do it? I think we could do it. I think we could make our own. God, I've been babbling for, like, what, 20 minutes now? Let's see how long I can do this. I could do this for a while. Um, grandma napped? Is she missing, or is she, like, gone. Like, her mom is missing, suspected to be against her will from her oh. Uh-oh. James Cameron was married to Linda Hamilton yes. But then he went with the redhead from Titanic, right? Not Rose, but the carrot the carroty redhead. Not Rose, the auburn redhead. The other one. Yeah, I don't know what I'm saying. I might be getting tired at this point, I don't know. So she was holy shit, what is going on today? I'm making notes, I gotta look all this stuff up, you guys. So Savannah Guthrie, okay, looking her up, yep, and then, um, Jill Biden's ex-husband. Um, let's just say multiple theories are related to the financing. Do you think it had something not not the financier? Do you think? I think it could be. That dude had his finger in every pie hole in the frickin' world. I tell you what, everything's related to him. He did it. He did everything. It's all his fault. Mia said the same thing to my husband, that or another thing to blame on certain people. Oh my god, you know. I blame Obama. I blame him. It's always Obama's fault. All right, guys. I'm gonna wrap it up. I'm gonna sage you guys here real quick. Ah, yeah, the financier. I love that we can all yeah. All right, I'm gonna sage you guys because you people need to get sage tonight. Not me, because 'cause I'm good, but I'm gonna sage y'all. Hang on, here we go. All right. Obama made me do that's what I say all the time. I wish I was a kid now so that when I got in trouble, my mom would I could just go, "Obama made me do it, mom." I know no kids are watching this. I hope not. Yeah, we do, don't we, equal? We process. This is our trauma group. I'm calling you you people. The Irish. That's what I'm talking about, TF. It's just the Irish. Alright, guys. Obama made me do it, though. That's oh my god. I'm gonna leave that one up. Oh. Man, I gotta put my boots on for this one. Alright, me, I'm gonna be talking to you about this one, but I'm also gonna be looking up the other I've got too much to look up. I gotta sleep tonight, though, because now I might be on a regular sleep schedule. Fingers crossed. Alright, guys. Thursday night, we're gonna dig into some graves. I saged ya. I'm gonna show you some ponies, and I will see you Thursday night. Thank you guys for being here. I love you. I appreciate you. Have a good night. Go listen to what's his name? Don McLean, uh, and the American Pie, and yeah, let's send out some good juju tonight. All right, here we go. See you. And hi, C. Smith. Bye, C. Smith. I was getting ready to hit the out. Here we go. Here we go. Here come the horse.